AEW Dynamite is in a freefall. With ratings and attendance in the dirt, AEW is more disappointing than Joker 2. Throw in the 8th place Fulham FC Cottagers and the last place Jacksonville Jaguars, and Tony Khan is doing Tony Khan things, which is excellence in mediocrity. Get it how you live. Through TK's mixture of favor hirings, scapegoat firings, and week-to-week booking that undermines AEW's continuity, Tony Khan is down bad. If this keeps up, AEW will be lumped in with Warner Brothers Discovery's slew of bad investments in the David Zaslav era. And after WBD's financial failures like CNN Plus and Joker 2, stay tuned to find out why AEW might not be in the clear just yet, despite getting all that money. Subscribe in Swahili. Even with the excuse of going head-to-head against WWE, Tuesday Night Dynamite drew 329,000 viewers, which was half the amount they drew for last year's Tuesday Night Dynamite. Back in its normal time slot, AEW Dynamite's 633,000 viewers is down from 680,000 for its Nothing Happened 5th year anniversary show 2 weeks ago in that same time slot. AEW's booking is uninventive and has developed an addiction to heat because every single AEW champion is heel. Unfortunately, AEW cannot book a heel to save their lives. In fact, most bad guys in Jacksonville end up getting cheered because they're more entertaining as a performer than the stories AEW is trying to tell. Okada is the perfect example of that. AEW recently secured that bag, but once again, they're limping their way to the end of 2024 creatively. Tony Khan is already trying to find scapegoats because Jimmy Jacobs disappeared as if that was going to change anything. It didn't. Dynamite this past week was a mix of random matches, Shelton Benjamin straight stunting on these hoes at 49 years of age, and the Whitepool Combat Club Crackers staging a show-long insurrection. The only thing missing was a QAnon shaman and shit on the walls. In Dynamite's top angle, the super skinheads were chased off by a benevolent bald guy half their size. So funny, but so sad that this is supposed to be a serious angle. AEW has gone from one invasion angle to another in the span of just a few months. It was just this past April that the Elite attacked President Tony Khan, leading to a wild scene in Shad Khan's television debut. Just 4 months later, Dean Clanbrose hit the scene in August with an invasion of his own. Now he's asking every wrestler to pick a side. This includes the Elite, who were asked by Daniel Garcia to join Team AEW. But wasn't the Elite already doing an invasion? So are the Elite done with that invasion? Are the EVPs gonna pick a side, or are they just gonna focus on Kenny Omega and his intestines? Can't the EVPs just fire Jon Moxley and be done with this, or do they not have that much authority? Because if not, then where was the heat for the EVP invasion? Oh, that's why it failed in just a couple of months. Okay, I'm starting to get it now. AEW's storylines are so confusing, Tony Khan better go back to the drawing board and start scouting more stooge podcasters for help.
Dave Meltzer is the Porky Pig of pro wrestling. He stuttered his way through a wrestling media career with an impressive resume of 100,000 500,000 1.2 million co-host interruptions, 2.3 billion interactions with trolls, and so many retractions that number hasn't even been invented yet. Despite using his message board as a safe space for Tony Khan, Dave Meltzer was passed up for his dream job as Tony Khan's assistant scheduler in 2023. But with AEW's budget increase, Dave Meltzer's 5 years of glazing might pay off after all. Meltzer's influence on Tony Khan has led to an influx of random internet darlings at the top of the card, an AEW creative that comes second to moves and super workers. As a result, casual viewers nationwide have been inspired to change their channels and even turn off their TVs. In 2024, wrestling fans getting fresh air is at an all-time high on Wednesday nights. Dave Meltzer has a star ratings plan that'll triple 5-star matches for AEW, thereby reducing viewership by 50%, increasing excuses by 80%, and moving the whole product to 2,500-seat buildings. By the end of 2025, AEW live shows will take place for an audience of 1 in San Jose, California, in Dave Meltzer's dungeon, with AEW media freakoffs for Tony Khan's favorite podcasters. And if you don't like that, it's because you don't read, you don't learn, and you just don't study. So study these nuts and vote Dave Meltzer for AEW Head of Creative.
Okay, so MJF and Adam Cole are in the midst of a pro wrestling do-si-do where they switched roles and are contradicting their own story. This time last year, Adam Cole was teaching MJF how to be a good person. All the while, a masked devil was attacking people. That devil turned out to be Adam Cole and his goons. This was actually a good storyline at this point. Even after Cole shattered his ankle like it was the 2024 Jaguars season, AEW kept him active and on TV in this story. MJF returned as a babyface at Double or Nothing this year, announced he had re-signed with AEW, and set his sights on that evil Adam Cole. Then MJF turned heel, not because AEW had a plan, because he doesn't like being a babyface as much as Tony Khan doesn't like having a spine. So when MJF made his second return on pay-per-view in 5 months at WrestleDream, he was a bad guy now. But have no fear, the evil Adam Cole made his return on that same show as a good guy. There was no explanation as to why Adam Cole dropped his goons. There was no story behind why Adam Cole and MJF's previous angle was canceled like Rampage. They just transitioned, I guess, because that's how they identify now. MJF and Adam Cole are basically the babyface and heel version of being gender fluid, and the fans just have to go with it. I'm sorry, didn't AEW hire some stooge continuity analyst to prevent these type of things from happening? Yes, they did, but it's all Jimmy Jacobs' fault. AEW's stories are bullshit, and Tony Khan does not have the answer. Jimmy Jacobs parting ways with AEW is nothing more than a Twitter PR move where Tony Khan is throwing one of his better writers under the same truck that the Whitepool Combat Club dragged minorities with. Imagine if WBD fired Lady Gaga and announced Joker 3, the musical. She was the best part of that bad movie and nobody's asking for another sequel. That's what Shockwave is going to be if it ever happens, the Joker 3 of AEW TV. Every AEW champion is a heel right now. Every last one. In addition to all the heel champions, rising star Kyle Fletcher just turned heel. Private Party keeps losing, and Stokely Hathaway has planted seeds that one of them niggas is gonna turn heel. I'm convinced Hook attacked Taz, so it's only a matter of time before he's a villain. AEW is gonna tear at Achilles with all these heel turns. They better start scouting more social media stooges to gaslight AEW's fan base into thinking Tony Khan's creative is working and everything's gonna be all right.
David Bix has a clean record when it comes to dating, with no career girlfriends and zero riz. One single podcast from The Great Virgin has more hours than the amount of kisses in his whole life, and the same amount of listeners. Bix is a man of the pimple people, and nobody works harder to defend relatable billionaires against the evils of WWE like Davey Shit His Pants. Davey Kiss His Ass was such a sicko in real life, he became a recluse like Howard Hughes if he lost all his money. As a recluse who never touched grass, he was such a sicko on social media, he had to hide his tweets and block his replies. I'll give it 2 weeks before that porker protects himself from the ubiquitous animosity he deserves and deletes both his eyeballs, like Oedipus Rex. Except the only difference between Oedipus and Bix is Oedipus actually fornicated and Bix is just one blind motherfucker. These days, Bix is like Howard Hughes if he ran out of Ozempic, which is the closest he'll ever come to running anywhere. AEW sickos need a leader they can trust, and more importantly, a tweeter they can trust, one that can make them feel better about their lot in life. Because I don't care who you are, everybody's got it good compared to Bix. I'll bet somewhere in Cell Block C, Diddy is talking about, thank God I'm not Bix. Plus, it's not like Bix has anywhere to go. Just look at him. When I heard he spends 6 hours a day doing a podcast that nobody listens to, I said, GTFOH, only 6? Those hairs on his neck scream 10 hours at least. Tony Khan is building a super team of pro AEW podcasters to change creative for the better. So vote David Bix for AEW Secretary of Social Media.
WBD owns the DC Universe, which is so fitting because Tony Khan's week-to-week booking has made AEW the DC Universe to WWE's Marvel Universe. Marvel sold billions of dollars of ticket sales across several franchises, and when the time was right, all the top stars from those franchises joined forces to fight each other in the Civil War storyline arc. Marvel took its time. They paid attention to detail. They left trails of Easter eggs. Their post-credit scenes set the stage for the next movie the same way Triple H leaves backstage clues that tease big storylines to come in WWE. And when fans were emotionally invested in all those superhero movies, the MCU built 2 dream teams and spun back with a civil war. And them niggas was just getting started, because then those dream teams joined forces to fight Thanos in Infinity War and Endgame. This is the exact same model WWE followed with its Cody Rhodes versus Bloodline story, which bled into a civil war between the 2 bloodlines. The DC universe, on the other hand, had no patience in building up compelling baby faces or heels despite having more recognizable superheroes. DC had Superman and Batman, just like AEW had Sting and Bryan Danielson. Hell, DC even had The Rock. But the movies sucked because of a lack of creative and no continuity. Sound familiar? Things just happened out of nowhere for no reason. DC didn't build up toward Black Adam. The movie just happened because The Rock wanted to be Black Adam and WBD obliged. As a result, their storytelling suffered. Just like how MJF wanted to be a heel and Tony Khan obliged. So after the MCU's masterclass of intertwining movies that had satisfying payoffs, the DCU opted to go with movie-to-movie booking. And in spite of all that star power, these movies flopped at the box office more times than they didn't. It was 2 steps forward, 1 step Black Adam. For every Shazam 1, there were 2 Shazam 2s. For every Joker 1, there was 2 Joker 2s. For every Batman Dark Knight, there was a Batman versus Superman. And it's no coincidence that the parent company overseeing all this dysfunction is in complete shambles. WBD lost the NBA after a decades-long marriage to the Turner Networks. WBD is in crippling debt, and the same guy who thought it was a good idea to sink $300 million into CNN Plus now has to overpay for an AEW product in its own downward spiral with no signs of a turnaround. This is the David Zaslav experience, where he spends money on big brands, but unlike King Midas, everything David the Joker touches turns into an impairment charge because it gets canceled. That's what happened to Batgirl and Coyote vs. Acme. Ever since Zaslav was hired by WBD, it's felt like somebody crashed a plane into the Warner Brothers water tower. AEW's come up is great news for the wrestling business, but from a traditional business standpoint, it's starting to look like another bad investment from WBD because the math ain't mathin'. Speaking of economics,
Brandon Thurston knows his numbers. He's a charts and graphs guy with the unique ability to take the over-the-top, larger-than-life pageantry of pro wrestling and make WWE SmackDown feel like C-SPAN or Rampage. Wrestlenomics is... Jesus Christ, I'm already starting to fall asleep. Can we bail? I'll give you your money back, Alfred. My bad. I thought I could get through this, but I just can't read another word about this guy out of fear of going comatose. Like, yeah, there's a place for charts and graphs in wrestling, I get it, but I'm not trying to die of boredom. Anyway, vote Brandon Thurston for Tony Khan's treasurer, because, man, I don't know, sometimes boring is better. Deuces.
in addition to its own brand, WBD did damage to the once unflappable legacies of the Joker, CNN, HBO. The NBA ran for its life and signed with NBC before they got, but lost inside the NBA in the process. AEW is a secondary wrestling promotion, one with a fraction of the name value of all those powerhouses in peril. So if you don't think AEW could turn into Batgirl 2, Grap Girl, I've got a Joker 3 sequel to sell you. Nobody is safe. Doesn't WBD own the Looney Tunes too? How are they gonna fumble that franchise? By making a live-action Looney Tunes movie with real animals that don't speak English? So instead of abadi, that's all, folks. Porky Pig is gonna be out here talking about Warner Brothers Discovery is on fire in the worst of ways. Everybody who gets in bed with WBD gets burned like they were hitting it raw. And after signing a multi-year deal with David Zaslav and them, I pray Tony Khan wore protection. Is AEW doomed on WBD? Tell me in the comments.